Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree in painting from Memphis College of Art. Behnke's work has been exhibited widely in the United States and internationally. He's had a solo exhibition in New York, Heidelberg, Philadelphia, St. Augustine, Memphis, as well as group shows in San Francisco, Honolulu, London, Dublin, Paphos, Glasgow, the Netherlands, and New York. Behnke's work has been reviewed in Hyperallergic Weekend, The New Centurion, The New Republic. He's edited Structure and Imagery, a contemporary art blog, since 2011, and was co-director of Stout Projects, an exhibition space in Bushwick, Brooklyn from 2015 to 2017. Paul lives and works in Lambertville, New Jersey, and Brooklyn, New York. So with that, you want to go ahead and start, Paul?
Yeah. Well, this one, I pulled up my image list here that I sent because I forgot the title of this one. This one's called Hands of Fate. It's a really new piece, like within the last 6 months or so. It's still kind of continuing a lot of my interests in, well, let me start there. My main interest with my work is kind of taking a look at systems and beliefs and myths and religions and things like that, and seeing how those systems are kind of co-opted by pop art, movies, television, comics, and when I'm thinking about things like, I'll say the comics, like Doctor Strange, right? There's all of these kinds of metaphysical, meditation, Eastern religions in that, spells, and these kind of pop culture venues oftentimes take those beliefs and things that are really very sacred, or traditionally have been very sacred, and they kind of pervert them or dumb them down, pervert them in some way, change them. And so this is what my work is kind of about in general. I grew up in the South, where fundamentalist religion was very important in my family, but so was, Gunsmoke and Bonanza and Lost in Space and those kind of things. So comics, of course, were very important. So to me, science fiction. So it comes natural. When I first started painting, I was always interested in those mystical kind of ideas, world religions, things like that.
Get rid of this setting.
But I was very locked in and trying to think of what I had to do to make a serious painting and a weighty painting when I was young, and I wanted to make serious art, right? And so I excluded a lot of the pop figuration, a lot of the comic influence, things like that. I was more into the Abex and the German Expressionists and that kind of stuff. The more angsty, of course, every kid when they're young is into that stuff. But then when I painted abstractly and hard edge for a good while, and then I decided some of these physical forms started kind of coming out in the process. And so I decided, why not, why am I keeping these things out? If they're here and I see them and they're part of my kind of unconscious, why do I have to keep these out of my work? And to make a good work, to try to make a good work, I think it has to be as close to the artist as it can be. And so to communicate as much about the artist and as much about the artist's worldview as possible. Now, just a little bit, Gary, if you can zoom in on the hands, this is a very recent development for me. I started to use collage in the work. These are just black and white photocopies off of my desktop printer. I manipulate the size, sometimes manipulate the color, to put them where I want to kind of integrate them into the work. These, of course, some of you might recognize from a postcard. This is Picasso's hand. It just, I think it added, you know, having the hands that way in this kind of occult a position that's kind of common in occult imagery, kind of adds kind of that kind of sense to the work. Those kind of circles within a circle came from, we'll probably see one later, kind of came from my idea. I was doing a series of paintings about Ezekiel's vision and the wheel within the wheel, and kind of my version of that. So that's included in this, part of that is kind of included in this piece as well. I guess we can go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is called Sacred Security. It's kind of the same, you know, of course, it's the same kind of subject matter. You have the red wing. Also, these kind of wing forms, they kind of come from a series that I was doing on seraphim and the wings that revolve around the figure of the traditional seraphims. These kind of still have those kind of triangular hard edge wing revolving around a center point in the plane. And then I put the Star Trek security badge on the red one, just to throw that in there. A reference to Star Trek, the meditative eye, you know, violet form up there. The collage in this one is the Shiva Lingam that's resting on the table platform there. It's a form that's found throughout India. Widely, it represents the masculine and the feminine, things like that. Yeah.
That there.
Yeah, it's down at the bottom. Yeah. And so that's the collage element in this one. And we can go on to the next one.
Okay.
This one is called Space Angel thing. Kind of the morphing of the form of the seraphim wings into the kind of the shoulder form of the uniform, the science fiction uniform there. You can go on. Oh, that's a collage element. The badge is a collage. This one, I think it's called. I think this one's called Man of Mystery or Mysterious Angel. And I just got the idea about, I was thinking about those old depictions of angels' wings, where they had a bunch of eyeballs in the wings. And so then I just started thinking about an angel with an eye in the back of his head. And so, there's that one. This one's called The Red Robe. This is the, from that Ezekiel's Vision kind of series that I was talking about. With the wheels within a wheel, and then the figurative form kind of at the bottom having the vision. There's no collage in that one, just the spray paint and acrylic. Okay, you can go to the next one, please. This one's called A Monument to Icarus at Night. I started doing this series called the Monument series a while ago. Mostly it was drawings, these really messy, expressive black and white drawings. And I started kind of carrying those when it just seemed appropriate in this image to kind of carry that, that monument idea over into this image. I don't use text very often in my painting, but I did in this one. And then the moon is collaged back there, of course. And the whole in that one form, the one part of the sculpture or the monument, I was looking at, of course, at a lot of the modernist sculpture, Barbara Hepworth and things like that, that would leave those lines of sight right through the sculpture, so that you could see into it and beyond it. Okay, the next one, please. This one is called Ezekiel's Vision. It's a combination of the wheel within a wheel and the seraphim wings. Pretty
think that's it, right?
I think so. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you
Thanks.
go. So that's that.